Today we're going to be looking at a hardstyle kind of EDM lead using Cubase's Retrologue plugin. So I've set up this kind of little bit of a riff with a kick just to show what we're going to try and achieve today, and then we'll go through it. Okay, so first thing we're going to start a new instrument track. Let's go to Project, Instrument Track, and find Retrologue. So I'm just going to drag across the riffs we got here. So this one is just a copy of that with the octave higher up. And then a few adjustments just so it sits better. But what we'll do, we'll copy all these. Holding Alt to copy. And I'll just play it. And we'll just get stuck into it. So let's turn it down in the mix window. Doesn't sound like much, right? So we're going to go to multi and put the number of voices on 8 and just tune it to about 23. And this kind of gets that Supersaw kind of sound, so. All good. So next we're going to add an octave higher up oscillator, doing the exact same thing. So about 23, I think I got here. Yep. And 8. Okay, so that kind of gets us most of the way there. I've got 2 more oscillators to add, and then the sub as well, which we'll put for this and we won't put for the high one. So if you want to put the sub on, let's put on saw. A bit of that in, and then the noise. Last we've got ring, which is a ring modulation, and I'm not sure how it sets up. I think it's between the 2 oscillators, but I'll just dial it in from 0 to 100 and show you. So I can around 4 is pretty good. Next we go to the filter section, and there's 2 ways you can do this. First way, which is I'm going to learn the CC so I can control it with my controller. And then first way is kind of the trance thing. So if we set up an envelope with a short decay, no sustain, then we go down, we've kind of got, I'll just loop it, get that trance kind of. Which is cool. But the other way we can do is with a high pass, and then we get the kind of, just turn the envelope off. So yeah, either way, I think I'm going to stick with the low pass. And then just going to add some distortion, the tube distortion. Really just thickens it up. Okay, so that's pretty much done in Retrologue. One thing I am going to add is glide. And glide time about 87 milliseconds, which is cool. So a bit higher. works. Cool, so once I've done that, I'm just going to do some processing. So at the moment I'm running a multi-window setup, so you'll see me move my mouse over here. Obviously you can't see it on the screen. But I'm just going to use mainly Cubase plugins and one free VST called Boot EQ. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab the Studio EQ. Let's go down here in 7.5 or 8. In 7, you might have to use group tracks, or it depends how you set it up, if you've got VST instrument by itself or a MIDI feeding the VST instruments rack. In 7.5 and 8, that's all integrated into the same thing, so makes it a lot easier. So let's go audio into that Studio key. And what I'm just going to do is add a low cut, just so it doesn't interfere. About 150. Pretty simple. I may just turn the overall volume down a bit, just so we're not getting clipping. Next thing is a nice plugin from 7.5 and 8 called Magneto 2. Any kind of tape plugin that allows you to run in parallel work for this, but I like how this sounds, so. If we solo it, we can hear what we listen to. And so next is Boot EQ. Now this is from Variety of Sound. It's free. You can just download it. I think it's only 32-bit, but I enjoy using it. So first thing I'm going to do is take up some high end and add some high mids. Maybe just scoop out a little bit here. We'll just see how that sounds. Yeah, so that's pretty good. You can use any EQ. Neve style EQs sound really good for this, but I'm using this, it's free. So next I'm going to use Cubase's tube compressor. Just to get a bit of compression in there, so some drive. Just mix that in a bit. Yeah, I like how that sounds. It's cool. And now the last thing and most important thing is reverb. Now I'm using Valhalla Vintage Verb. I like how it sounds. You can use some of the stock reverbs or there's free reverbs or whatever you have. Just set up a kind of hall, medium to large, not too long decay. So I'm just going to add that send to this. So you got. Makes a huge difference. So now what I'm going to do is duplicate this and get the octave up thing. So I'll just copy that from here. Delete these. So basically this is just an octave up. But I want to make some changes because it's a bit harsh. So first thing I'm going to do is turn the detune down a little bit. then turn the sub off, turn the noise down, turn the ring down. And then go into BDQ and just less high end. And maybe just pump up the mids a little bit. Just muting the two just to show you. But there's plenty of other things you can do with this lead. So we'll just loop this bit and I'll show you how little changes, not so little changes, can have. So if we solo this, what we can do is change the wave from a saw wave to a square wave, which using this as the kind of the shape of the wave, we can get different sounds. So that's a saw, it's a square. And sub off. We can go crazy with the detune. See where you like it. And another thing you can do is the cross wave. So I'd put this back on there. Use this second oscillator for the cross. Another harsh sound, but sounds pretty cool. I'm just going to reset these back to where they were. So yeah, that's about it. And just play around with different distortion settings. Just in here. See what you like. You know, you've got a lot of kind of different sounds you can get from it. All pretty heavy. So yeah, thanks.